We are recording.
Ha 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 ha. There's golly.
9 p.m. How's that? Right on time.
Yep.
I'm ready to go.
I thought we were starting at 8:30.
I don't know what
What are you
the
talking
We were.
about? We're
I was
on
trying to
time.
make us feel good.
I don't know what the holdup is. I'm ready to go.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Natty 19 podcast and to tonight's adventure. The sun goes down with a ruby smile, part 3. Written by Remley Farr, and once again, I'll be your DM. You can find me in the Twitterverse at Swayjaw138, and played by the wonderful Natty 19 crew. What's up, peoples?
Tell me that 138 is Misfits.
Oh, of course it is.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've always kept the 138 tagline in there.
You're so cool.
Oh, thank you.
Aren't I cool for recognizing?
You are.
Yeah, you do.
If you're listening to this, we'd like to thank you for your ongoing support and being one of our patrons. That means a lot to us. I swear we're not blowing this money on hookers and blow just yet.
We haven't been able to find hookers that cheap.
So it's been a minute since we all got together for some Ruby adventure.
Yeah, some Ruby.
We need a bit of a recap. Let's recap episodes 1 and 2.
Who wants to do the recap?
Hurry, doing the recap.
Let's see.
Golly, forget what he was doing.
Probably while he was doing it.
All right, the adventurers set out on a routine job for the 3C shipping and freight, but found themselves caught in a terrible storm and were forced ashore to take shelter. They arrived at what appeared to be an abandoned logging camp, the Pinewood Lumber Exports, the PLE, and it's here that things started to get a little spicy. They find the dead body of one Argon Dodd, a dwarf who with his grandson Hedger oversaw the operation. They also encountered a young female half-orc by the name of Ruby, a feral child with a small understanding of the orc language, who seems to be right at home within the area. The group managed to unlock a safe which held a palm-sized ruby gem and a list of contracts detailing the different groups within the camp. Also within the safe was a contract stating that the PLE was being funded wholly by the Sylvain Estates. Adventuring further, the crew came upon a burned-down house that was being haunted by a smoke mephit. And when the mephit and its minions were slayed, the billowing residue left in the air formed into a ghastly scene, a flashback to the final moments before the house burned down. And now, a smoky haze fills the area where the house used to stand, and it slowly drifts to the ground. And we pick it up right there. In front of you guys are 2 houses hugging the tree line. There's tall grass that's grown up around the area, and you see wheelbarrows and shovels and other simple tools scattered about, as if this place was suddenly abandoned. The floor is yours.
And we just got out of, we had just gotten out of combat. We had just seen the apparitions.
Yes, yeah, the smoke is literally settling from the combat. So you guys are wounded. Some of you are wounded.
Uri's able to heal, or cast a heal spell, so I guess it's probably a good time to do that.
Yeah, I'm down to 3 hit points.
Oh, well, maybe I'll heal you first. What's your max?
15.
Yeah, all right. So,
I don't have a single pencil mark on my character sheet. Did I even play last time?
Corbin was here.
so I can cast Healing Word and give you 1d4 plus 1.
Now, healing word's like an AoE.
I thought
isn't
that
it?
was the AoE.
No, I think it's range. Is it range or AoE or both?
Uh,
What does it say for target? Or does it have like a cone or area of effect?
no. Range, 60 feet. No area, no target.
Just one person, huh?
A creature.
Oh,
That you can
It's
see.
a single
That you
You
target,
can see within range.
but it's also a bonus action, right? Not an action.
Oh, it is a bonus action.
Yep,
All
that's
right.
the difference.
What does that mean outside of combat? I guess.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing really. Yep.
Basically, I think you would rather do
Cure light.
cure light wounds if you have
Outside.
it.
I do not.
I
so
actually,
someone,
I was just
yeah.
gonna say I can actually cure myself. I don't need no man.
But now, Wicca, you didn't use any spells, I don't think. I think you were just using cantrips.
I
in that
was
last spell.
using the primal savagery, and did I use a poison spray?
I don't think so.
And I didn't use my beast bond. So yeah, this will be my first level 1 spell.
Golly will gesture to where the apparitions in the smoke was just a moment before, and he'll say, "Did anybody else see that?
I did. It was kind of scary.
And what do you make of it, little friend?"
Well, the mephit said he burned it down, and now we know who. It was the elf.
Yeah, so like I said, this area looks overgrown, like nobody's been here for a long time. And you do have 2 cabins up, probably about 100 feet in front of you guys, hugging the tree line.
And does anything else look burned? I can't remember.
No, it's just this house.
Okay.
So you guys followed the foot trail through the woods, and it came out pretty much right to this house in this burned down area.
And this house is nothing but rubble.
Nothing
Or
but
and
rock.
ash. All right.
Yeah.
Uri's going to start walking towards the next house, the one on the bottom of the map.
Okay.
I guess I'll follow him. I mean, I don't really have a direction.
Okay, what's your guys' approach? I know last time you guys were all very cautious, and are you keeping a cautious approach, or are you going right in?
Oh. Yeah, well, I think I'm having a hard time remembering the threat that I was afraid of before.
I just remember a lot of literal paranoia. He said, I'm just paranoid. I'm going to be walking up through the bushes. I'm going to be walking around the buildings, looking in the windows.
Well,
I don't know.
I think that spawned because I felt somebody watching us or something like that. I
Yeah,
can't.
he saw someone
Up in the
on
tower?
watchtower.
Yeah, or something
But
like.
we thought we identified that as the
Ruby?
half-orc. Yeah.
As
Oh,
Ruby the half-orc, which, now that you guys mention her, she had scattered during that fight.
Still missing?
yeah. So if she's still out there, then yeah, Corbin's gonna. He's gonna. I guess go up ahead and scout around, make sure we're not walking into an ambush.
So you're going to scout around the house.
Yep.
You can give me an investigation check, I guess.
Yep. That's gonna be a 13. Wait. Yeah, 13.
It looks abandoned. You don't see any signs of life.
Uri paused while he saw you investigating, and he's just looking at you for cues.
Corbin will nod over and say, I think it's all right.
There it is.
Let's go in.
Uri heads to the front door. Tries to open it.
Be careful of rats. They tend to collect in these abandoned places.
The door gives when you push on it. As the door opens inside, the first thing you would notice is mounted on the wall. All along the walls are heads of dead animals, deers and elk, stuff like that. There's several skins, also like rugs hung up on the walls. And there's several steins and drinking paraphernalia are scattered about.
I am uneasy. This reminds me of Evil Dead Cabin.
So I guess as you guys go fully in there, you see that there's a painting of a coat of arms with 2 axes crossed behind a stout tree trunk. So that's 2 axes crossed behind a stout oak tree trunk. And there's a pair of lifeless bodies lying in the middle of the floor.
There's dead people everywhere.
So along the back wall of this main living area, you see 3 doors. 2 of them are closed. One is bashed open. Appears to be like soaked through. Like there's water coming through that area. But you can see the table there with drinking mugs all over it, and right in the middle of the floor, straight ahead of you guys, you see 2 bodies lying on the floor.
Are these bodies rotted away like the Dodd?
You can give me an investigation check on them.
By the way, my cure wounds healed me for 6.
Okay. So
11.
Are you up to 9 hit
9.
points?
Yep.
You got an 11 on the investigation?
Yep.
Okay, I mean, searching the bodies, you find they're dressed in night garb. Like they had just gotten up out of bed, and they have stab wounds in the chest area that ultimately led to their death. And so it looks like they were killed just after they woke up.
Were they as decomposed as the other guy, though?
Yes.
Looking around, Wicca is wondering what happened, what transpired first, the fire or the stabbings. Is there any way?
Any way you can tell? Oh, I wouldn't think so.
All right.
I am curious. The people that left this camp, they just left these bodies in these buildings. They did not think to bury their friends.
Maybe there was no time.
At this rate, maybe everyone's dead in a different building. I'll go look in the bedroom. Uri walks up to the open door.
The open door. Okay. So this room is damp from last night's rain, and you see a broken window in the back of the room. What appears to be another dead body under blood-matted sheets lies in the bed. And the furniture in this room has come to rot.
I guess I'll look at this body too and try and figure out what happened or how old it is or whatever. 16.
Okay. As you pull, the body's under a sheet.
Okay. Uh-oh.
And as you're pulling the sheet back, the sound of buzzing fills your ears.
How can I have react? Can I try and attempt to react?
Yeah, with an initiative roll.
Oh.
Everyone roll for initiative. As you pull this sheet back and you look at this dead, decomposing body, in its chest is a giant nest where a swarm of bees have made their home. So as you pull this sheet off, you've excited the nest.
Natty 19.
Oh! Looks like you're going first, Harry.
So that's 23 for Uri.
Okay.
That's a 4 for Wicca.
Natty,
Wicca.
not natty 4.
7 for Corbin.
A modified 19.
Okay, so Yuri. Hold on, guys. Let me pull up my stats for this.
I think, surprised, of course. Uri's surprised, but still relatively calm. I think he's going to... Oh, I guess I have to wait. I just assumed I'm first.
No, you are first.
Okay.
We're going to theater of mind this little battle here with the bees. They can occupy the same space as you.
Uh-huh.
So unlike most monsters, they are in your area, surrounding you right now.
So he's going to try and take a step back as if to, notice the bees and see if he can get away from them. They're still on him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in trouble because he's holding a short bow. He's going to shout out to his friends just the word bees. Bees!
Yes.
And then I guess I'll hold because he doesn't know what to do. He'll be swatting, but no actual action.
Do you want to give me an attack roll with your hands then?
I think
Yeah.
you can still attack a swarm.
You can.
Yep.
I'd have to drop the short bow.
You could do it at disadvantage.
You'd have your short bow in one hand, and you could just
Swat with the other.
swat
Alright.
with the other.
Are they just regular sized bees?
Are they giant
Just
bees?
yeah, they're like African
just a whole
killer bees.
bunch of them?
So, I believe an unarmed strike. Wow, natural 20, so 23.
23, roll for damage.
Easy, Mr. Miyagi.
Wow.
Did
Damage.
he use his hand or did he use chopsticks?
I caught one bee. I guess the way that this looks for an unarmed strike is 2. Damage 2, not even a roll. That's what it looks like. Is that...
I think you're right. Unless you have like an unarmed feat or something, or monks, I think is like 1d6, but yeah, typically.
As you're slapping at the bees, I guess you're not doing as much damage as you would suspect
Yeah.
you would be.
I believe that's my whole turn. An attempt at
Golly.
moving and a weak attack.
Golly's he's gonna see Yuri. Is it Uri or Yuri? Uri messing around with the bees, and he's gonna like just rush forward. And while he's rushing forward, he's gonna say, "Thunder punch!" and charge up his fist. But that takes an action, so he's not gonna be able to attack. He's just gonna get into the fray.
Okay, so now both of you are in that small room.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd say probably one more of you could fit in there if you actually want to get inside the room. Otherwise, you guys are going to have to attack through the doorway.
Does this room have a window on that far wall or no?
Yes, it's smashed out.
Oh, good. Handy.
Corbin.
Seeing everybody piling into the small room, I think Corbin's just going to. I'm having a hard time envisioning. Is this just is this swarm of bees just an obstacle more than a combat, or is it an actual combat where we should?
We're in
be?
initiative.
I think it's a combat.
Initiative doesn't always necessarily mean,
I think we're doing hit rolls and stuff though.
Okay, so I'm
Yep.
gonna fire my crossbow.
Yeah.
I mean,
that
Maybe
a-
you'll hit one
see
bee as
where
well.
I was going with it.
Right.
I have a hard time
But then there's-
envisioning firing my crossbow into the room
but
and hitting a bee.
But logically, you might know that there are immunities, and
of course,
If-
of
I mean,
course.
yeah,
I'm thinking
it's tough to-
your crossbow bolt would be like hitting the nest.
Hitting a few bees, yeah,
and
yeah, or something.
destroying
Yeah.
the nests to scatter them to get rid of them.
Right. Yeah, all right. Corbin is going to be aware of the space inside of that room, and he's going to break out the heavy crossbow and let one off. He's going to say, "Does your mother sew?" That's going to be a 7.
Bees are hard to hit.
They sure are.
Yeah. No, your crossbow bolt hits the doorway. It was just an off shot. Wicca.
So, Wicca wants to poison the bees. So but what she is wondering is, I can poison spray 10 feet, a puff of noxious gas, but is that going to have any consequence to the people that are in the room?
I think so.
The spell says, you extend your hand toward a creature you see within range and project a puff of noxious gas from your palm. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 poison damage.
Okay,
I'm
so
wondering-
there's no area or anything, no cone or
No.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
just one
so
creature
It's just
then.
the creature.
Yeah. So, which is, I feel like odd for a noxious gas, but sure.
So I get a Constitution
magic.
saving throw.
It's
Especially
Magic
since it's
gas.
on the same space as me.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the same space as you, so I don't know.
Ooh, natty 19 on my con save.
That's what are these bees made of?
Starting off hot. So what's that mean?
Little robot bees.
Do I take any dam or just half?
No, none.
Yeah.
Nothing.
What's a cantrip?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything else up your sleeve?
She's checking her sleeves.
Mm-hmm. I can speak with small bees. Can I talk to the bees?
Talking is a free action.
Fucking buzz off. I guess I could wild shape into something that eats bees. What eats bees?
The bees are attacking Yuri.
Bears.
Yeah.
Bees.
No, I'll just that I can't do. I don't have anything that gives me a bonus action anyway, so I can't do anything this round. So
I wonder if
Alright.
an anteater would eat bees.
yeah, or there's a certain kind of bird that eats bees, and I can't remember what
Spiders.
it's called. Yeah, something. There's got to be something.
Yuri, the bees start stinging at you. An 11.
Miss.
Miss.
I don't
Okay.
know how they could miss, but they did.
Are you wearing thick clothes or something?
Thick
Armor?
Thick skin.
Yeah.
Just
So-
swatting them, keeping them at bay.
Yeah, they're stinging at you, but they're not doing enough to really get through. And they're starting to spread out more throughout the room and starting to spread over you, Golly. Next, top of round 2, Yuri.
Can I try animal friendship on a swarm?
Yikes. No, I think it's too many.
Okay.
They're insect 2 and their intelligence is 1, so I don't think it would.
Does it have an intelligence
It
requirement?
doesn't. At least not according to this description.
What is the
The,
description
the
of it?
spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no
So
harm.
It might mean one.
Yeah.
And this is a swarm.
I can talk to one bee.
Yeah,
1 bee.
the queen.
Yeah, it does say a swarm of
Take
tiny
me to your
beasts.
leader.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna say no. It's not
Alright.
gonna work in this situation.
So
Hey there,
Uri
queen bee.
is annoyed, sees the potential danger, but he's feeling no pain yet, so he's not really panicking. He's gonna gently toss his short bow onto that little nightstand thing by the bed, because I think I'm standing 5 feet from it.
Right.
And then he's gonna try another melee attack, another hand attack.
I think this is just going to be a tank and spank, baby.
Against
Although,
the
let me
swarm of
just
bees.
check
Can we
my
throw?
equipment,
Can we throw
yeah.
the body
I'm-
out the window?
I was just gonna see if I have a
considered
blanket I
that
can
as
throw
well.
on him.
Well, the
Alright.
bees are in the air now. They've swarmed up.
All right, so I'm gonna try. Well, hell, maybe we need to run away.
Run away!
There's not even a door we can slam behind us.
Shut the door.
Yeah, the door is broken in this room.
Oh yeah.
Oh
They might not fall. You could run 120 feet.
no,
I think
no! They will follow you.
Shot at
I mean,
killing
I
them.
hit a wasp nest and they followed me into my house.
I mean, are we heroes?
you guys can't handle a swarm
mean-
of bees. This is great.
I've handled bees in real life. Okay, I'm sure we can do this.
I
Smoke.
will-
If anyone can make smoke, that would probably help. I'm gonna try to smack one.
Yeah, I'd keep swinging at them.
Let's see what I got here. 13.
It's a hit.
So 2 damage.
We'll take it.
Maybe that was 2 bees.
Squashing them.
I don't fuck with bees. I run from bees. After
Dolly, you're up.
Now that Golly is in the room, he's got his charged fists and he's just punching like the thickest throng of bees that he could find.
punch that bee in the face.
Oh my god! Does a 9 hit?
No, it doesn't.
Fuck. Well, how long does my charge last?
Think till you connect.
Yeah, maybe. You can keep going. I'll just check.
Okay. After Golly, Corbin. So you see these two in there just fumbling around, swatting away, but they don't really seem to be making much progress.
Right. I mean, Corbin missed once already, but he's going to give it another shot.
Going for the nest.
Well, if they're all swarming everywhere, I'm just going to try to go for the swarm, I guess.
All right.
With the bow again?
There's not a lot of room in there for melee, so he's unfortunately, because he'd have a much better chance at hitting if that were the case, because he'd be dual wielding dagger and short sword. But I think he's gonna let you guys occupy that space for now until he sees an opening. Yeah, he's gonna fire one off again. That's gonna be armor class 13.
It's a hit.
13 is gonna be a hit.
Skewer
This
bee.
is going to take some fucking bees out. There's going to be some shish
Is this
kebabs.
piercing damage?
It is.
Excellent.
It's going to be 9 piercing damage.
So you round up when
Oh.
you do.
And
When you do what, half?
Yeah, when
you always
they're
you round up in the player's favor unless
Damage
otherwise
resist. Okay.
unless otherwise told. Also, do I get a sneak attack because they're adjacent to teammates?
yeah.
I mean, that's
No, you always get that, right? As
only
it
if
seemed
they're
weird on
only
a
if they're adjacent.
swarm.
Yeah, the whole thing seems.
Sneak up on a
Swarms are
swarm.
tough.
Yeah,
Swarms
they're
are
busy
tough
with
to
me.
envision, but mechanically last
yes,
I looked
you
at
get
them.
it.
So that's going to be an additional 4
So
sneak
two.
attack damage.
So 13, 14, yeah.
9. So a total of 13 damage.
So 7.
7. Okay. All right. No, the swarm's starting to dissipate with that. Wicca, you're up.
Wicca's gonna try again with the poison spray.
They didn't like anything puncturing through their space.
Oh wait, why am I rolling? You're rolling.
Flying through
Oh, poison
Constitution.
spray. Uh-oh. 7.
So yeah, they failed.
Okay. So this is a poison spray. This is raid.
yeah.
Raid!
Magic raid.
This is what we needed.
7
That-
poison damage.
They take that. Ooh. Okay, my swarm, what's left of them. Yuri, they're still on you. Natural 1.
Ooh, it's a hit. No. No.
The swarm is in a panic.
Just mechanically, I'm curious. Can a swarm split up and attack two different or multiple targets?
I believe they can, but when they do split up, they take half hit points each, and they do less damage too.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't looked at a
That's
swarm.
kind of how I was just doing it. That's why I rolled to see if they're going to attack you or Golly, because they've taken over half their hit points now,
Gotcha.
so I figure half the swarm's gone.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So, but you're up. You can finish him
I'm up.
off.
I will try it because that's all I got going on. So I'm going to swing my arms again.
Oh, no, you can't finish him off.
Oh.
Yeah, not with your arms. Use your weapons.
I do have a dagger. I mean, that'll be better than smacking on a swarm.
Does seem odd, right? Like
Yeah,
the
all right.
broadness
If
of
that's
your
the
hand.
case,
It might be the same. It might be equivocal, but you might get in. I don't know. I don't think you can. I don't think fists are finesse, but daggers are. If you have a high dex, you'd probably benefit to hit more with a dagger.
very
than a
high
fist.
dex. All right. So I guess I'll pull out my dagger and swipe with that. Just reading how it works here. All right. Natural 20.
What the hell?
Yes.
That's a hit.
All right.
Now, the dagger's what, 1d4, right?
1d4
Yeah.
plus dex bonus.
There you
right?
go.
Well,
Slashing or piercing?
Piercing.
the dagger description says 1d4 plus 3, but my dex bonus is plus 5.
That's interesting. It should be
A finesse weapon.
finesse. You could use your
It's-
dex mod for damage.
Is a dagger? Yeah, it should
It
be a
says finesse.
I mean, I have plus 3 dex mod, and my dagger does 1d4 plus 3.
Yeah, I have mine uses dex too. I have +4 to my dagger.
Your dex bonus is plus 5?
Yep.
No, that's your dex saving throw, because
Oh.
it's proficient.
Where's my dex bonus? I must be
I
plus
was going
3
to
then.
say, plus 5 is high for level 2.
20 dex.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Alrighty then. So 1d4 plus 3 is 7.
No, wow.
7. So 4 more damage. The swarm is all but gone, but they're still on the attack.
And I think I can do a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
It'll be Bardic Inspiration aimed at Good Golly.
All right, Golly.
All right.
Finish him off, Golly.
Stop flying away from me.
That ought to do it.
And Golly swings another punch at 16 to hit.
That's a hit.
1d4 plus 4 bludgeoning damage. So 6 bludgeoning.
Yeah, all right. You guys fight them
Bludgeon
off.
those bees.
Golly, you just smash down on the nest, crushing it. And now that their home is gone and their queen is dead, they dissipate.
Nice.
And then looking through this room, it's a mess. You got this nasty decomposed body. Just, it's part of the bed, and there's a nest inside its rib cavity. It's pretty gross, and the rest
Any
of the room
clothing
is
on
moldy.
it?
It's rotted away for the most part.
Would
But what is there? It's like night, like the 2 dead bodies in the room. Like this
Nightgown.
body was killed sleeping in his bed.
there's 2 things that Wicca wants to look at: the size of the wounds, like if it was sword, dagger, whatever, and also she's a druid, so she's by the size of the nest and how long it took the bees to build it and stuff. Could she get a timeline going?
Yeah, give me some investigation checks.
While she's doing that, Corbin's going to retrieve the bolts that he had fired,
Which
if he can.
investigation, perception, nature,
Investigation and nature. Both, actually. One for the body, one for the nest.
Okay, so for I'm gonna do this one for nature. So, investigation is 20, and my nature is an 11.
Okay, the investigation, you see this body in the bed was strangled to death. There's no stab wounds that you can find in it.
okay.
But you do see marks around the neck that point to strangulation. As far as the nest with the 11, I mean, a nest this size, you're thinking at least a year. But you know that every year they make new nests, too.
Wicca will address the group. They've been building this nest for at least a year. It's been some time.
Wow.
And the man, and this man was strangled. So Wicca's like eyes roll up for a minute, and she's thinking, and she's going, She's stab, strangle, fire, axe. Is it... Everyone here went mad. Could this have all happened at the same time and everybody went crazy?
Uri's nodding his head.
Everybody?
Like, makes perfect sense, but he says nothing.
Everybody or just one? Could one person have done it?
You're thinking that because they're all different methods, right?
I'm thinking there's all different methods.
If one person did it,
That's escaping.
the scene that we saw where the elves cast
Yeah.
the spell and then burned down the thing, there was at least 2 attackers there, the elf and the beast with the axe.
Well, the elf was defending
elf,
himself.
yeah,
was
the elf
defending-
accidentally set fire.
Corbin's thinking of like The Shining, you know. But
If Corbin starts talking like Jack Nicholson, that'll be a whole nother story.
So what do we got? We got the guy who fell through the roof.
yeah, let's do a recap.
So he was thrown through the roof and died. That was Argan Dodd.
Mm-hmm.
And here now, you knew the loggers were the Lents. There was the 3 of them, Vinny, Patty, and Monroe, which was written on the list. So you can assume this is their building. And 2 of them have stab wounds. 1 is strangled to death. You also found in that vision the elf and then the unknown lady, who were both killed by stab wounds with a pickaxe.
And there was a monster in the vision.
A humanoid, a hulking beast of a
Hulking
humanoid.
beast of a humanoid.
Not a monster, but
The vision ended without his destruction, right?
right.
Or the fire didn't take him?
It's hard to tell. Well, in the vision, he brushes off the fire, smashes the elf in the head with the pickaxe,
And then it disappeared.
raises his pickaxe to kill the human female, and then the vision swirls out and ends.
Yeah, that's a lot of everything.
It sure is. So is there anything else to be had here in this house?
We haven't even looked in the other 2 rooms. I don't know if we're looking for anything in particular, but in the other building we were looking for and found the key.
That's
So
right.
there could be other documents or clues.
Let's check the other rooms then.
Uri is going to just look in these cabinets or nightstands or whatever is in this room right behind me.
In this room, you guys aren't going to find anything. It's
All right.
There's nothing of consequence in here.
Just bees.
But if you're going down the line, who wants to search room 15 and room 16?
Corbin will check 15.
Uri will follow him and walk right past him into 16.
Okay, so room 15. This room is filthy, but by the looks of it, this place was wrecked long before the murders. There's a bed lying in the center and a tripod-mounted spyglass sitting against the window. A spittoon sits in the corner near a dresser overflowing with moldy clothes. Inspecting the spyglass, Corbin, you see that it was aimed at the window of a bedroom on the other house.
Oh, peeping Tom.
Exactly. The spyglass itself is tarnished and old. The lens is foggy, but you can assume it'll still fetch a good amount of gold. These things are pretty priceless, even in this condition.
So looking through it,
It's foggy and shitty.
Okay,
Enough
gotcha.
that it can go to the house next door, but it
But you
wouldn't
can't see in
operate
it.
as a good spyglass,
All
like
right.
out in the water.
yeah. Corbin will pocket it, I guess, if he recognizes the value in it. And then I'll tell the others about it. It appears someone was watching through a window. We could have a peeping Tom.
Yeah, I mean, kicking around the room a little more, under the bed, you actually pull out some women's undergarments.
Oy.
Even though this appears to be a man's bedroom.
Ooh. Jeepers creepers.
What's that smell?
Candles.
Okay. So, oh, yeah, they just got blown
I
out.
blew them out because
I was like, something's on fire.
Someone's on fire. Studio's burning down, but let's keep playing.
Yuri, you actually, yeah, okay, so you go in the room 16. This bedroom contains a bed, a dresser, and several scattered maps and charts are out on the bed. It's tidier in appearance than the other 2 rooms, and there's actually a violin lying on the bed. And picking it up, you would know as a person in the musical arts that it's still in tune. Examining the maps, you find that they're from several shipping companies, and that some of the names of the shipping companies are Fay Rucker's Fast Travel, Balder's Bait and Tackle, and Francine's Freight Transport.
Nice.
Comparing the maps to some of the charts show that this individual had plans to travel. And inspecting the room further, you find under the pillow an envelope.
Uri is going to pick up the violin, and it's not his specialty, but he can play it a little bit, so he's just going to start strumming a little tune. And he'll actually keep fiddling while he walks into the main room, just kind of like not showing off, but saying without saying to his friends, "Hey, this is enjoyable. Listen to this." So that's all. He's just playing some music, walking into the main room.
Golly will just start like slapping his thigh and stomping his feet.
Is it bad luck to play a dead man's fiddle?
He stops instantly, stops playing, and kind of holds it away from his neck. Uri kind of like backs his way back into the bedroom with the violin away from him, like it's a ghost. And as he's backing in to put it back on the bed, he tells his friend, "There's some maps in here." So you all know that there's maps, and then he backs away and puts the violin back.
Corbin will go and check out the maps. That's something he would be interested in.
Yeah, like I said, examining these maps, you see they're from several shipping companies, and that this individual definitely had plans to travel. There is the unopened envelope still.
Yeah, he'll definitely pick up those envelopes. And meanwhile, looking at those, he'll be like, "I did some work for Francine a little bit ago. I didn't think she was still active." And he'll open the envelopes.
And it's a letter of acceptance to one Monroe Lent. It's a congratulation letter. You've been accepted to the Bardic College of Music and Science at the Academy in Waterdeep. And there's also a list of mundane costs and supplies needed for his journey to Waterdeep. And within the pillow, there's actually a hidden stash of 60 gold pieces.
Nice.
I also have known a Francine. I did not know she was a prostitute. I thought she really liked me.
That's all you guys find in this room.
All right.
In this house, I guess. So it looks like, you found a dead body. You found a room that was like a pervert's room. And then the youngest brother, I guess, his room, he had plans to get out of this camp. And it actually was a talented musician if he was accepted to the Waterdeep Bardic School.
Bit sad.
Was his body around?
Well, there's the two bodies in the main room.
Do we know kind of who they might be? Can we tell?
Yeah, inspecting those bodies. One is a bigger oaf and one is definitely a smaller person. But they were both killed the same way. In death, they are the same.
But we don't know. We can't put a name to each body.
No. Well, the smaller one's probably Monroe.
Do they have collars?
We could check hands.
What do his tags say?
We could check their hands. Most people that play stringed instruments and stuff. Well, I mean, I think a violin they would use a
bow.
A bow, but still, a lot of times you can kind of tell.
Still a little fingering.
Yeah, dexterity.
Have the house that the spyglass was pointing to? Was that one of the houses we had already investigated?
No, that was.
I believe it's the only other house we haven't investigated.
Right.
Looking out the window.
Or the
Wick
tower.
is gonna say,
we also haven't investigated the tower.
Yeah.
And that's why we live in the woods, Pyewacket.
So we're looking at the map now. You guys are in that southern house of the two houses. Yep. And that spyglass is pointed up at the other residence.
Which is pretty nearby.
Seems like the next logical stop.
It is the next logical stop.
And there's only one exit entrance to this house, right, that we're in?
Correct.
All right, so Uri, hearing that, we'll just start heading towards the door and go over to the other house.
This house, as you guys come upon it, says Rumrick across the front door, like, welcome to the Rumrick house. And the front door is wide open. Who's going in?
Corbin will give a listen if the door is closed. Oh, did you say it was wide open?
Wide open.
Corbin will peer inside for any kind of movement or anything like that. 10 on perception.
You're not picking up any life forms.
All right. Crank scanners up to. Corbin will tell everyone.
Is it dark or in the room, or is there daylight through the?
It's still morning.
I mean, inside the house, does it look like it's dark, or is there light coming in through the windows? Is it lit up?
It's dim light with it's still really cloudy, overcast kind of a day. Everything's really wet. Yeah, so with the door open, unless you guys are getting up close, you're not going to be able to see what's in there really until you get right up to the front door.
Corbin's definitely up against the front door when he did that perception check. Okay. I'm picturing like he's kind of up against the wall, kind of peeking in, checking his corners type deal.
If Golly sees Corbin just sort of like
scouting it,
trying to scout it and stuff, and if it looks dim from where Golly's at, he will say, "Night's light," and push his hand out and cast dancing lights
into the house.
So 4 orbs will.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So as they go through the front door and they bounce around the room, lighting it all up, just like high noon. You can see clearly in there now. There's the wooden dining table with 5 chairs around it, and a fireplace thick with ash and a hanging kettle sits against the western wall. There are several torn paintings, and 2 doors leading to the other rooms of the house appear to be bashed in. So once again, it looks like whatever happened here, there was some kind of an attack here. Those doors, as your dancing lights flow through the house and they actually bounce into the back rooms, you see those doors are smashed apart.
Golly will push forward past Corbin, put his hand on Corbin's shoulder, and just say, "It is good to be a wizard."
And while he's doing that, you can see Corbin is locking another bolt into his heavy crossbow, and he'll just nod and give the signal that he'll follow.
Wicca's eyes are pointed upwards, and she says, "Everyone here went mad." And you hear nothing, but then she says, "I'm mad. You're the one talking to a gnome."
So, Wicca, when you go in, where do you go when you go into there?
I'm walking right in the doorway. I'm not going any further than...
There's 5 feet in the doorway.
Yep.
There's 5 feet
First
in the
square.
doorway.
Did Golly walk in?
I thought I walked in first.
I thought you walked in first, too.
Where's Golly
I
go?
don't know if that matters. I thought you did, too.
He's just going to walk right into maybe right up to the fireplace.
Okay, Golly.
He's going to poke his head into the pot curiously, not really consciously, just sort of like, "Oh, a pot."
Yeah, if Corbin sees anyone else following Golly in, he'll wait and take up the rear.
Give me a investigation check, Golly.
That would be an 11.
An 11. Do you get a minus on that?
I do. I rolled a 12. I have a -1.
Right.
My intelligence is low.
So you peek your head in around the fireplace.
If we ever make 4th level, I might improve that.
All right. The kettle is empty, but digging through the ash reveals remnants of what appears to be half-burnt letters. You can't, as you pick them up, maybe if you're interested in them, there's no pictures. And as you pick them up, what little writing there was crumbles. But maybe as you're holding up the ashes of the letters, you see written along the fireplace, the mantle is scratched in. It says, "Let not diseased hogs sire." And a dagger is stabbed into the wood at the last letter, as if punctuating the point.
Golly sees writing over here on fireplace. I think it says something about log fire.
What's in the pot? Alphabet soup?
But this writing on the fireplace, the pot is empty, right? Or did you say?
Yes, the kettle was empty.
The pot is empty, but the writing on this fireplace looks like the ramblings of a madman. I do not know what it says except for log fire. And he's just gonna wave his hand, like gesture with his hand at the writing to the person closest, which I imagine at this point is the druid.
Golly, it says, "Let not diseased hogs sire."
Ah, Golly was very close.
Which is nonsense and common sense. I don't quite understand.
And there's a dagger stabbed into it.
Anything special about the dagger? Nope.
Just a normal dagger. Looks like it's been used a lot.
Oh, Wicca is gonna look at the dagger to see if it was the weapon to stab the brothers or Monroe and his
It's more like a
housemate.
working dagger than a weapon.
All right.
I
Like
guess.
a knife,
Right.
like a work knife.
Right.
So not the weapon that was used at the other house.
I mean, you could definitely use it to stab somebody in the chest, but no.
No.
The wounds in them were much larger.
Okay.
Punctures. Whereas this would have been a smaller stab mark.
Is there anything obvious to look in this room? Any drawers, cabinets?
No,
Nope.
just the torn paintings on the walls are of animals and trees and flowers and such. They're actually quite artistic and beautiful.
Were before they were torn?
Were, yeah.
Or he's going to head up to the room on the right and just walk into 11.
Okay, as you go into that room, the first thing you'll notice is that there's just paint splattered everywhere. And there's bunk beds. So you can surmise 2 people were living in this room at one point in time. And scanning the place further, you pick up the busted paint bottles. Maybe you see a heap of old dirty work clothes. And on top of the work clothes is a busted open little chest, like a wooden chest, about the size for storing letters.
And it's busted open and there's nothing in it.
There's nothing in it, but inspecting it further, it's a beautiful wooden box with silver trim and an ornate heart.
Is it literally busted and broken, or is it usable?
The lock on it's broken,
Okay.
so I may will shut, but I'll just keep opening.
Yep.
Perhaps the letters that Golly found burned in the kettle.
And peering out the window of this room that's actually broken open, you see it looks straight over to that other room that had the spyglass.
Kind of like a Family Feud kind of thing going on. The houses were after each other. So nothing else to search, nothing obvious to search in this room either. Like under the bed, in a drawer, anything? Nothing.
Nothing. You're just finding old clothes and stuff. I guess it would be female clothes that you find.
Minus
like I
2
said-
pairs of underwear.
Minus 2
Right.
It's missing Monday and Tuesday.
But bunk beds and
I'd think like 1 pair a week.
It's missing July.
Missing night all,
At all.
night all, and hammer.
Hammer, yeah.
All right, I guess Uri's going to then just walk out and head over to room 12.
Yuri's doing all the investigating. Okay.
No one's following.
Corbin's he's just looking with his crossbow armed. He's watching everybody's back.
Wicca's probably just admiring the paintings.
Are you a halfling?
No, I'm a gnome.
You're no.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm whittle.
Bartholomew was a halfling.
Yeah.
Was?
Yeah.
You don't remember we strung him up to the mast?
That's right.
Gem-encrusted contact spectacle. All right, Yuri, you can tell this is the master bedroom. A large bed sits in the center with a dead woman dressed in night clothes lying on its side. Another dead body in the bed. This time it's not covered with a blanket. You don't see any bees. And it is a female human that also appears to have been strangled in her sleep.
Jeez.
At this point, Corbin might pull the underwear that he had found in the other house out
He had taken it, huh?
and try to match it to the corpse.
Wicca will say she was strangled, huh? Perhaps her blue period.
That's really...
Does it look like the underwear fits her?
No.
It's a different room.
Yeah, room 11's window lined up with the...
Right, but there's no body in that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but
He's going with what he has.
Yep.
to work with.
but not everybody died in the camp. So whoever was in 11 could have survived.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Okay,
who
so a
owned her.
woman,
killed
a
somewhere
dead
else.
woman strangled in bed in 12. I'm going to look through whatever is obvious to look through, drawers at cabinets, see if I can find any ID or anything.
Yeah, fine. Give me a perception or invest. What do you got?
Perception is 18. You want investigation as well?
No, that's fine.
All right.
On the desk, there's an inkwell and quill, as well as 2 crossbow bolts. And a moldy book entitled The Divine Bosnir lies open. Slivers of paper mark several passages.
Are there any pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Divine Bosnir? Yeah, there's pictures.
Can you describe one of them?
The Divine Bosnier? Can write those pictures.
There,
What's the matter with you?
Give me a. So as you're looking through the book, Golly, you see like pictures of fire.
Natty 20.
You just got natty 20? Okay.
You said give me a...
Yeah, I know. Well, I was going to say give me a religion check to know about the Divine Bosnir Church. And for some reason, I guess, golly, there was a shitload about it.
Maybe I have won a game of cards against some priest of that religion or something.
Bosnir is a lawful neutral deity with a small following among the rural people of the Baragos territory.
Bosnir?
Bosnir.
Bosnir.
Their followers prize hard work and perseverance. So it's a religion amongst the common folk, like the farmers, your regular merchants, things like that. A telltale sign of a Bosnir follower is that they will carve or write scripture from the Divine Bosnir onto their tools, carts, boats, sometimes even have them tattooed on their bodies.
So now looking at that, do I see any of those marks around the house or on the body?
Well, you immediately think of the "Let disease hog not sire" written on the mantle.
Is that a Bosnir? Do I relate that to Bosnir?
Yes, you would.
Okay.
I think.
Golly has put all this together now.
With Golly's natural 20, I guess maybe you heard this one in one of your bars around rumors of a sect of the Divine Bosnir. Rumors of a sect who followed the Bosnir unjustly. They delved into darkness that bordered on the line between saviors and psychopaths. So think of almost like a religious cult that went nuts. Or what were those guys, like Waco? You know?
I knew it.
So, yeah, golly, I think I have put all this together. These people are worshippers of a god they call Bosnir. I have won many card games against these people. They're not very good card players. And I cheat very good. Some of them, they are very hard workers. Others, they lose a little bit up in the stairs, if you know what I mean. Perhaps some of this is from some of those with the loose bolts up in the stairs.
As he's saying all this, Yuri, you pull a trunk out from under the bed because you were investigating and searching around. Inside the trunk is 35 more gold pieces and work clothes for a man and woman. I love the fact that you're finding all the money in this entire quest. You're going to come out of this filthy rich. There's one other very curious thing in this room. On the nightstand next to the bed, you see a portrait that you can assume was the man and the woman that resided here. And the man looks almost exactly like Corbin.
Oh,
Dun, dun,
plot twist.
dun.
Golly looks
Like
at
he
the
could be his
portrait
brother.
and he looks at Corbin. Looks at the portrait and he looks at Corbin.
Does he have the same hairdo?
Yeah, didn't you say Corbin had like a receding hairline?
Receding hairline,
in his
yeah.
40s?
He's going balding.
Like, imagine if Corbin was just about 10, 15 pounds heavier. This man looks a bit bulkier in the picture, but could definitely be almost his twin brother.
But does Corbin recognize him?
The
Or
plot
is it
thickens.
just a coincidence?
When you're looking at the picture, though, you are like almost like looking in a mirror. It's creepy.
Very
coincidence.
peculiar.
My friend, what do you know of Bosnir?
Does Corbin know anything about Bosnir?
There's pictures.
He doesn't look like he's been working hard, that's for sure.
Golly's going to raise one eyebrow skeptically, which has no hair on it. His body's completely hairless, but his skin raises skeptically. And he's going to give the elevator look up and down over Corbin's body, looking for a tattoo or a holy symbol or any sign of Bosnir.
Yeah, you don't see any, although most of Corbin's flesh is covered.
You can give me a religion check if you want to know if you knew anything about it.
10.
10, just the fact that they were followed among the rural people, and you might have caught wind of the the psychopathic
The nutty
sect,
ones?
the nutty ones, because that would have been the one that was most talked about.
Right.
You know?
I'm not much of a religious man myself. I know nothing of this Bosnir. I may have ran with Timora for a bit, perhaps Joaquin, until favor abandoned me. Now I make my own luck.
But you have known one of the people in this village.
I may have. I've met eyes with many folk.
Who is the person in the letter that we found?
Monroe? Wait, what?
That he recognized the woman?
Oh, did I recognize?
It might have been on a letter, not from one of the residents.
Oh, was it tonight?
Yeah. It was a few minutes ago. Was it the last house?
Oh, you're talking about the trading company, Francine?
Francine's freight.
Oh, yeah, that was just, yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
No, but Golly's just starting to
Oh.
he's just looking at you skeptically.
Pyewacket's gonna run down Wicca's arm and over to the photo and look at it and look at Wicca and Corbin and squeak something. And Wicca will say, ridiculous. Doppelgangers? That's ridiculous, Pyewacket.
Ooh. Doppelganger might be a good call. Perhaps we should burn this painting.
Do love me some doppelgangers.
Who said that?
It's just me, Boz.
I am a very smart and intelligent wizard, and I do not see a reason for a doppelganger to make himself look like Corbin and then slay all the people in this camp.
See, Pyewacket? Even the big lug thinks that's a stupid idea.
I am smarter than any rat.
This painting, Corbin's going to do an investigation on it. I want to check it out. Does it look newer? Does it look any different? Is it a lighter shade than the other ones? Does it look like an item that I can interact with? And
Perhaps it is a magical painting.
that's going to be a 15.
It looks just like a normal painting. With that, you do notice very small the signature of the artist, Sonny Rumrick.
Do I recognize that?
You would remember it from the map. It was also drawn by Sonny Rumrick. And if you look at the other paintings in this house, you'll also see they were drawn by Sonny Rumrick.
Perhaps this artist had some magic. A gift of foresight.
You all think I'm mad. Is it not much more likely that you could be related to this person, or it's just a coincidence?
I don't think I have any relatives.
I'm going to look at the painting more closely and look at the people around me. Does anybody else look like anybody else in the painting?
No. Well, no, there's just him.
It's like the last scene in Ghostbusters.
It's a man and
2.
his wife. Yeah.
All right. And does the wife look like the body?
Yes, you could surmise.
Okay.
What's the last scene in Ghostbusters 2?
All the Ghostbusters appear in the painting that the bad guy was on.
Oh, fuck.
Wicca will snap her fingers and Pyewacket will scamper upper leg and upper arm and back under her hat and say, "This is ridiculous and it's getting us nowhere." And she's going to start walking out of that room.
Yeah, I guess Corbin will toss the painting in the decrepit fireplace. He'll say, "Well, we still have got the tower."
Nice. So you just chuck it in the fireplace? That's
Golly
cool.
thinks Bosnir has something to do with this.
All right, so you guys walk out of this house, and you're left with a choice now at this point. You can go north to the clearing where the Chotins are, as Ruby had said, or you can go back to the marina, back through the woods to the marina.
Where the tower is.
Where the tower is that you haven't searched yet, and Boz and Captain Tommen are working on the boat.
Yeah,
It's probably about 11-ish in the morning now. Almost getting to be noon.
What do we know about the clearing? It's there were oxen trail. That's it. Wagon
yeah,
trails.
Ruby had come up and told you there was Chotins there. Chotins. So that's ox. So you're led to believe that there are some ox up there, and
It's still early in the day. We could visit the clearing.
Uri nods.
All right, to the clearing.
I kind of picture you all sitting around in front of this house now, breaking out some rations, maybe having lunch, talking through, going over everything you've encountered.
Yeah, Golly tosses his rations right down his throat, and he's like looking at other people's, and he's, "Are you going to finish that?"
Wicca's feeding the rest of hers to Pyewacket. She's got the crumbs in her hand, and she says, "This is what happens when you praise anything but Mother Nature. These people have all gone mad."
Corbin will be like, "We don't know how long we're going to be here. Maybe you should ration your rations."
Disappointed that nobody is sharing any of their rations with Golly. He's going to eat another one of his rations.
And then you feel a slight tug on your back, Wicca.
I'll turn.
Grab, grab. Grab, grab.
Wicca will open another ration for her, looking to Golly like a little embarrassed that she's giving one to Ruby and she didn't give one to Golly.
Oh, Ruby's with us?
She just showed up.
She just showed up because we were eating, I assume.
You are giving another ration to this little half-orc creature? I knew you not share with Golly.
You put your dice in your mouth? It's a choking hazard, bro.
Hey, it's the craft, man. I was trying to get the full mouth of sound.
You know, like Christian Bale starves himself and loses like 180
Real
pounds.
method acting going on here tonight.
Chop chokes to death playing Golly with his mouth full. I don't even know if it worked.
Got some strong waves I see over there. I bet something came through.
Wicca isn't going to say anything to Golly while she looks at him, but Pyewacket will just be squeaking at him menacingly.
I will snap that little rat's neck.
So where are we going, guys? Are we going to the clearing or back to the marina?
I think Uri's going to start heading to the clearing because that's what Wicca said.
Yeah, I think we decided on the clearing first while it was still daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're close to it.
Wicca will ask Ruby if she'll accompany us, as crudely as she can in Orc, or what she thinks Ruby would understand of Orc.
She just kind of nods her head and grunts and just eating her food. She seems to be content to stick around with you guys. It seems like she never really went far. So probably while you guys were in the houses, she was skulking around.
And also, as we're walking now, if we're on the move, she's going to ask Ruby she's going to mention the name Bosnir.
If you remember right, Ruby was really feral.
Yeah.
You're not going to get much out of her.
Okay.
Yeah, Bosnir, she wouldn't
Didn't know if it'd be a trigger word or something, you know?
Right.
She'd just react body language-wise or anything.
Yeah, I could see you saying just like orc words to her to see if anything sticks.
Yep.
I know it's all kind of bouncing off her.
I don't know why we're keeping that thing around.
It's not a thing, Corbin.
Well,
No more than you are a thing.
We're not sure what it is exactly. It could be a lycanthrope.
It's very clearly a half-orc. Or an orc? Did we decide she was a half?
Yeah, you
Half
picked
orc,
up the fact
yeah.
that she's half orc.
Yeah, it's very clearly a half-orc.
Very clearly feral as well. We've got an island full of dead bodies.
Yeah, and at that, Pyewacket sticks her head out from underneath Wicca's hat and starts squeaking at Corbin, too. We're all making noises at him and hissing at him.
Golly thinks this half-orc is an abomination.
Ruby will
Thank
grab
you.
Wicca's hand, and as you guys are heading northward, she starts getting excited and being like, Chertins! Chertins!
Now the druid's about to get eaten. Suppose we should follow them.
So, this is the logging area, where the trees were cut down and taken to the port using oxen and carts.
Wicca's gonna look sad at the deforestation.
Yeah, you definitely see there's stumps everywhere. I mean, that's what this area is. It was a logging company. The Pinewood Logging Exports, or Lumber Exports.
If there's still any like felled litter, like logs or branches or anything like that, Golly will just pick him up over his head and toss him to the side instead of stepping over him.
Whether they were in our way or
Whether
not.
they're in our way.
For the fun of it.
As a matter of fact, there's an old livestock pen with oxen still meandering around it, as well as carts and wagons. Some of the wagons appear to be rotten right into the ground. Other ones still look functional. A little further in the distance, you see a large, dilapidated tent that's leaning over to its side. So that is that tent on the map.
Can any of these oxen be milked?
Like tits to a bull.
I guess we'll do an investigation on the tent.
And Golly
Okay.
will do an investigation on the oxen.
Hold on. It doesn't quite work like that. As you're coming up, to get to the tent, you gotta get through this oxen area. We'll call it the livestock pen. This rundown livestock pen encircles half the clearing. Most of the fencing has fallen over, but there's roughly 20 oxen that still seem to call this place home. How long they've been staying in this area, grazing and minding their own business, who knows? But as you approach, you see the largest, the bull oxen, stops grazing and perks its head up. Lifting its massive set of horns, it slowly turns towards your group, eyeing you with a look of intelligence.
Corbin will draw his crossbow.
And then it starts to snort and paw at the ground.
And you are worried about running out of rations.
This is my territory.
Oh, it said it? It's talked?
Almost verbally saying
Oh.
that.
Almost verbally saying.
If looks could talk. What do you guys do?
Maybe Uri will try animal friendship on him.
There you go. All
right.
right. How's this spell work?
Got me.
Read it.
This spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm. I have to see it within 30 feet of me. If the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails. Otherwise, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed for me. Or charmed by me for the duration.
All right. Give me a roll.
It
What
rolls.
they-
It
rolls
rolls.
a saving throw.
What's wisdom save?
What's
11?
11's your DC.
Got
Well,
9.
attack save, wisdom 11. Does that mean that's the save?
Yep.
I rolled an 8 on the die, so that's a 9.
Okay, so it's charmed by me for 24 hours.
Interesting. So explain to me what Yuri does when he casts this spell. Like, how does this go down?
He moves to within 30 feet of the animal, preferably still on the other side of one of the upright fences, if that's within range. Looks him straight in the eye, gets his attention by looking him straight in the eye, and there's no speaking going on for either. So he's just not really a staring contest, but like unspoken friendship. Wow, he is a big guy.
He's a juicy bastard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
large creature.
A river runs through it.
There's a lot of animals floating around here. See, like,
And so I'm
is there
bringing up a
dog?
map for the players here.
You
Um,
put some work into these maps.
It's a good one.
Spilled paint, broken
Yeah.
windows.
Yeah, this
Giant
is
bulls.
your giant bull oxen. And you see there's other, like I said, about 20 other oxen milling about and a little river running through the area. So you casted this friendship on him, and so he looks up, stares at you, and starts pawing at the ground and huffing that. And then after that, he puts his head back down and starts grazing away. Wicca.
If it's at all possible, I'd like to cast Beast Bond on it.
Cast what?
Beast Bond?
Was it
I would be able to communicate with it.
Oh.
Simple things. I can only do it if the beast is friendly or charmed by me, but I assume if it's charmed by him, it's now friendly.
Yeah.
So,
It was definitely on the verge of being hostile, and now it's down. Isn't there like a whole mechanic to that where it goes?
There,
yeah.
yeah. In some games there are,
Yeah.
and if you're not using magic, then you might use those tiers. But if
Right.
he has it charmed, then it's definitely friendly.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's friendly.
I think what you're talking about is the animal handling skill
Yeah,
that you can
yeah.
change its demeanor up a notch or
Right,
you
and
know.
there might be like 4 or 5 or
Right,
6
right.
demeanors.
Yeah.
So this might end up being a waste, but let's see if we can get anything out of this beast. So, until the spell ends, the link is active while you and the beast are within line of sight of each other. Through the link, the beast can understand your telepathic messages to it, and it can telepathically communicate simple emotions and simple concepts back to you. While the link is active, the beast gains advantage on all attack rolls against any creature within 5 feet of you that you can see.
All right,
So just so happens if a fight breaks out,
It would be our ally.
it would be our ally.
Okay.
It is a concentration, and it's up to 10 minutes. So what you guys would see would be Wicca approaching the oxen or the bull, and you'd see her put a bit of fur, wrap it in a cloth, hold it in her hand, and with her other hand touch the bull.
Where are you touching
This is important.
You are
I'm
very
just
short.
trying
I'm very
to,
small.
trying to visualize it.
I'm
We
very,
need to know a rating to put on this recording.
I'm very small. I am very small, but since the beast is feeding, Wicca will take advantage of that and put her hand on its forehead, like between the eyes.
Classic.
Yep.
2d8 gore damage coming in. No, what do you want to ask it? Or do you just hear its thoughts? Or
Yeah, well, ultimately, it can communicate emotions and concepts back to me. So it would essentially be able to communicate if it was scared, if it was,
No, it's just hungry.
Yeah.
It's a hungry beast.
And
I think they're always hungry.
And I can communicate simple emotions and concepts to it as well.
So you could probably abstract a question into
I could
a
abstract,
concept.
yeah, or yeah. So I
How long
could,
you've been here, maybe.
yeah, I can essentially. What I want to know is,
Where were you on the night of the 21st?
yeah. Well, essentially, that's sort of it. It's last human contact. So what I would do is I would.
like stumbling through the dark. This
Yeah.
one.
So what I would do would be.
Just like
I'm just
I have
wondering
no
how you
idea
get
what I'm
anything
doing.
out of an oxen.
I know, right?
I'm just picturing it looks up at you with like those milky white eyes that are just staring into 1,000 feet of nothing.
Yeah, just chewing on a lump of fucking
Just
grass.
fucking with drool coming out of its mouth, and you hear just like last human contact, and it's just munching away. It's been long time since I've seen humans.
We should have looked in the tent first.
I'm trying
still
to.
We had to get by him to get to the tent, I think.
Right. That's true.
So we can do that now.
Yeah, and it will just kind of turn its head away from you and just keep.
Well, actually, maybe what I'll
Grazing
do
away.
is I'll point to the tent. So while we're communicating,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just kind of point to the tent. Maybe try to think of humanoid type creatures. See if it says anything, comes up with anything.
The green ones lived there. And then it moseys over to the river and starts drinking.
Yeah, Corbin at this point, after seeing all of this nonsensical shit going on, he's going to have his crossbow still aimed at the beast, and he's going to kind of strafe, do like a half moon around it towards the tent, where he can get some actual answers. In his mind, he doesn't know what's transpiring between these two and the animal.
Golly's mind has wandered. He's seeing all of this beautiful, lush, like green pasture and the river. And to him, this is almost alien. And he thinks to himself, and maybe mutters a little bit out loud, like, it is no wonder these people are puny and weak.
Wicca will just call out orcs, and when her friends look at her, she'll point to the tent and she'll be like, "The orcs have dwelled here."
For sure, when she says that, and Corbin, you're coming up to the tent, I guess it looks orcish in nature. Maybe the color of it would kind of give away, like, this is like an orc color.
It's like in Warcraft 2.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like got the red.
or maybe the
It's definitely
Abstract
Horde.
paint.
the cut
This
of
is
the
definitely
cloth,
Yeah.
But
Do the pictures look orcish?
So
Who you want me kill?
as you come up to it,
Zug, zug.
this old. What'd I miss? I always miss the fun stuff.
When you click on a unit in Warcraft, it's what they
Zug, zug.
Who you want me kill?
That's old school. That's like Warcraft 3.
Two,
yeah.
Well, yeah, probably 3 as well. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking of when you said an orc tent.
I just think of Leo.
Oh, we have a picture of him we could put up on our
We do,
Patreon
yeah. Me
for
as
this
an elf and
episode.
his. And, that one cracks me up because he's a half orc and I'm a half elf. I always think your mother's a whore.
All right, what do I? I'm approaching the tent. I figure it's orcish.
This old, worn-out tent is orcish in appearance and looks like it's ready to collapse at any moment. Peering into the tent, you see remnants of what once was a nice living area. The room, roughly a good 20 by 20 when the tent was fully erected,
Dare I say?
dare I say, is split into 2 separate sleeping areas with a large common room in the middle. There's enough daylight coming through, like the holes in the thick fabric of the tent, that you can see a large ornate rug in the common area. It's embroidered with a beautiful red dragon, and its wings extended out and has golden colored trim around it.
We've got something here.
So if you can imagine it, it's like 2 rooms in the tent with a common area.
Before breaking her concentration with... Actually, she'll keep it this whole time, but while she's still in front of the bull, she's going to ask essentially what happened to the orcs.
To the bull?
Yeah, maybe just communicate orc and communicate death.
What happened to the orcs? They stopped coming to feed me. One was always nice. The other was rather mean.
All right. And with that, she'll start to walk up towards the tent.
What does your little feral beast say about this place?
She has said little.
You see Ruby flipping over cow patties and picking
Mushrooms.
mushrooms off them.
That's
Eating
immediately.
them.
It is kind of funny that you've gotten more information out of a bull than her.
Very.
D&D.
Golly wishes to know, are orcs and humans friends here?
It appeared that at least one human and one orc was friendly. If you catch my drift.
I do catch your drift. Golly is not an idiot. But truthfully, that is not always so.
Friendly is a cute term in such situations.
Looking down at Ruby, Wicca feels sad that perhaps her existence might have come from something more violent than she had originally thought.
But we do see this tent.
A very ornate rug. I like the dragon. It
Does
speaks
it look,
to me.
Does it look like the tent of like does it look like the tent of maybe like a battle tent, or does it look more like a tent of
Hunter,
like
maybe?
a worker or like somebody
It looks
that's
very nice.
like part of? Does it look like part of the
I was
community?
thinking
I
that
see where you're
myself.
going
It
with
looked
it.
kind of luxurious.
Yeah, when you
With
looked
the
in, it
rug,
looks like
ornate
2
rug.
bedrooms and there's an ornate rug in the middle.
Right,
This
right.
isn't like
There's no battle
tribal
plan.
orcs.
Right? It wasn't raiding the camp.
Right.
It was part of
can we
the
figure
camp.
out the purpose of, like, is it a, I think that's where you're trying to go
home.
with it.
It's almost like a
ho-
house.
It's a
Yeah.
living space.
I think
Right.
Wicca will say, I think it's clear that the orcs cared for the animals here in the settlement.
Do we know that this was here when the humans were alive, or might they have settled this tent after?
Oh, good point. Do we have history? Can we do, is that a history?
Or an investigation.
Investigation on the
investigation?
tent, maybe?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
I guess just another investigation check.
We weigh on those a lot in this one, huh?
All right.
Big investigations. I
It's
got a 19.
essentially like an
I got
enormous
an
murder
18.
mystery. I'm not even going to roll. Fuck off, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you guys looking at this tent, you can surmise that this is as old as the camp.
Okay.
Have you
Oh, it's
rolled
been here
below
with the
a
humans.
19
Right,
since
yeah.
you've been with us?
That's an 18. There you go.
You can tell by the weathering and the aging of this kind of leather versus the aging you saw on like the buildings where the windows were smashed in and the rooms were like moldy and rotted. It kind of matches the same kind of timeline of aging and weathering, if that makes sense.
I can't remember. Have we stopped here before on various trade missions for the 3Cs prior to this?
No, Boz and Tommen had
Okay.
just to pick up a shipment of wood once. The hardest hardwood the old halfling eyes had never laid me eyes on.
Is that a sack?
Fucking halflings.
Is that a sack by the river?
I think it's a sheep or
No, those are the oxen.
Oh, okay.
What
I
make it
thought
out
it was
of
a sack of gold or something.
it's a cat
I
and a
pictured
dog.
Golly went over to the river and was drinking up some water, and
Yeah.
being Golly like, so do you guys go into this tent?
Yeah, well, we're going to turn it over. Absolutely. Before leaving here.
Okay, so who's going in first?
Corbin will wait until somebody else goes, always. Just so you know.
Corbin and Uri just investigated, so I presume looked at the outside. So I'm near it, so I'll go in.
All right, when you enter and you walk across the rug, you hear the sound of hollow footsteps. Like you're walking across wood under the rug.
Do we all hear this or just Yuri?
I think he will notice it and gingerly, of course he's an elf, easy, gingerly walk back off the rug and off to the side and maybe peel up a corner of the rug and look under.
You see a hidden floor hatch.
Dun dun. Is anyone else in the tent with me yet?
I'll follow you in with my
Yeah,
crossbow.
Golly
I will
wouldn't even
follow you.
hesitate. He would just go right behind him.
Yeah. I just want someone else to go first always after that rat incident back when we first got here. So now
All right, so everyone has seen the secret door under the carpet.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just
I'll
Uri
give
just
you the nod. I'll give you the nod of approval.
Okay, so with that Uri whips the rest of the carpet over enough to get to the hatch.
Golly will slap him on the shoulder. Good job, Uri.
It appears you can open it. Like it's not locked or anything like that.
He will affix his crossbow to his back and open it.
So you fling the rug to the side, and you slowly, I'm picturing you slowly lifting these doors up. And then one falls over to the side, and the other one falls over to the side, revealing a crude wooden staircase that leads down into darkness.
He needed to open each side one at a time.
Weak elf.
And we'll see you next week.
Hold off with talking for just a minute because I gotta.
What do you got, a spider?
Yeah.
It's B.
Was it a big spider?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's still a spider. Had 8 legs.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
Fucking 6 too many.
It's
What are you
gotta
doing
be
with 8
big,
legs?
though, for me to.
You know what I mean? Like no legs, snakes I can do.
Yeah,
8 legs?
snakes are fine.
Like what are you doing with 8 legs? Something fucking shifty. That's what.